Welcome to Mr. UFC Vegas Fight Club TV. I am Kyle, your host. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the bet review show for Fight Night 134, Shogun vs. Smith. We're going to get into the one play that we had. We did not have a best bet on this card because I was away on vacation, as you all know, and did not have time to really dive into this card. So we'll get into the one play that we had, as well as the fact that I am back from vacation here at the studio in my house. So good to be back. Good to really dive back into these UFC cards that will be coming up over the next 2 weeks. And overall, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed some of the video. Did not want to give you too much. Just a little tidbit of our vacation, some of the sights and sounds. Had great weather, spent it with my family out there at the beach. So good to be back. So we'll leave it at that. In general here for Fight Night 134, we had a one-unit play, which was on the main event between Shogun versus Smith. And, I mean, not much to really break down here on this fight. But, you know, going into this fight, you know, you look at Shogun, crafty veteran, started to look good, pieced together 3 wins. Looked good in his last fight against Volante, who is somewhat similar to, within stature, kind of the way that he fights, to Smith. And, you know, the leg kicks were going to be a big part of Shogun's, you know, how he was really going to be out there and really going to be trying to dictate the pace of the fight. And thought maybe taking Smith into deep water could be something that would be a part of his game plan. And, you know, you go out there and you see, first of all, when Shogun took his shirt off, I said, wow, this guy looks out of shape. I mean, I thought he had really no muscle mass on him. He looked flabby. I know he's a little bit on the older side. I think he's 36, turning to be 37 soon. And just didn't think he really looked that motivated when he got into the cage. And, you know, he threw a couple leg kicks with nothing behind them. I mean, he literally slapped a couple leg kicks with no real power behind them. And I think he was just waiting for the barrage that was going to be coming from Smith. And Smith goes out there, lands a couple bombs early, and right away Shogun did not look like he was going to be able to go much further. He throws a beautiful, Smith throws a beautiful elbow, lands it, and basically knocked out knocked out Shogun standing. Really a great showing for Smith. I think Smith did everything that he was supposed to do in there. He really, you know, pieced together some nice shots. He looked like he was going to actually take his time a little bit, which I thought would then maybe favor Shogun. And really, Smith did wait, and once he saw that Shogun was not pressuring, Shogun really didn't really have much, I don't know if it was really just heart or whatever it may be, but Shogun just didn't really look really motivated in the cage. And then the barrage came from Smith, and he did a great job putting away Shogun. And he was able to get the victory there. And really overall, I mean, and I got to give it to Lichty. He did, one of our subscribers here on Fight Club TV, he said, listen, Kyle, Shogun is going to get brutally beaten in this fight. And he was right. I give him credit. He was definitely right on that. And you know what? Beating Shogun at this point, you know, I don't know if it's a lot of credit to Smith, or is Smith just fighting a bunch of guys that are on their way out that have big names. And that's going to be something that we're going to see sooner or later when he's not facing guys that are facing retirement. You know, he knocked out, Evans. He knocks out Shogun. So, you know, and then he had some tougher fights with some other guys. He's lost a couple. He's won a couple. He's on a nice streak here. So I think that there's a lot to be said about Anthony Smith. I think he's definitely starting to hit his stride now, and really he is evolving. And I think I did not give him as much credit. But the fact that I still don't believe, and some of you guys may disagree with me, I'm not sure if he's still ready for that upper echelon. Now, Shogun definitely kept himself relevant because he had been losing. He lost a bunch of fights in a row, then came back and beat a couple, you know, average fighters, no one really of that high caliber. But he looked to really be able to still take punches, still looked to be, getting in there and just scrapping. And his chin looks like it is just completely gone. And the same thing with Evans. His chin looks completely gone. And Smith has power. So I give credit to Smith, but I'm interested to see really what that next step is. And I know now he's called out Gustafsson, which now they say Gustafsson is hurt. And he will not be fighting at UFC 227 anymore. So now that's kind of weird that Smith calls him out. And now Gustafsson says he's hurt and can't fight. DC's blasting him now and saying, you want to face me and you're still, playing this I'm hurt and I'm not ready and all these other things. So that's a whole nother story. But Smith now at the point where he's got to face that upper echelon of fighters and maybe more of the talented pool of fighters. But I think this point Shogun is done. I don't really think that it's worth him fighting anymore. And to me, when we're saying stuff about a guy who has fought two guys that are on the verge of retirement, it's not as flashy as it is. And there's a lot to be said about that. I definitely feel like Shogun should have had a better performance. But at the end of the day, can Smith do that to that next level of fighters? And let me know what you guys think. Do you think Smith can keep pushing this way? Can he go out there and knock out a bunch of these guys in this division? He's big for the division. He's a big guy, got power. He's definitely young. He's got like 40 fights, mixed martial arts fights. So he's hitting his stride now, and he's growing into MMA as a whole. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So Smith gets the victory on that main event. Definitely give him a lot of credit. Now the other one I wanted to talk about was Nad Narimani, and Nad, you know what? This was another subscriber here at Fight Club TV had been talking to me about this guy for probably a couple, maybe 3 months now, talking about one of his friends who was in Cage Warrior, was a champion there, has come over to the UFC, had some opportunities, fights fell through, not even on his side, really. His opponent wasn't capable of making it, didn't make weight, hurt, whatever it may be, a lot of different things. And I really wanted to highlight him because I thought he fought sensational. And it was a very close, he was definitely not a huge favorite there, but he looked great. And that's something that I want to take a look at his next fight because he was just extremely well-rounded. I thought that he really fought well. He fought with a lot of aggression, yet he just kept picking apart his opponent. He was able to be on the outside. He was able to wrestle him to the ground. He looked good standing. He looked good on the ground. I mean, very well-rounded fighter for a guy where a lot of times you got a guy that's in an organization that's lower, even like an Ivanov, who's got a name in those lower divisions, lower organizations, and just can't make that transition. And although Ivanov fought JDS, and that was one of our best bet plays on JDS, but that was different because JDS is, obviously one of the more elite heavyweights, and Nad did not fight, obviously, an elite guy. But his first fight in here, I thought he looked extremely impressive. Very excited to see where he goes. Glad that some of the Fight Club members are putting me on to some of these guys, these up-and-comers. And I really enjoy the fact that it's one of his friends, somebody he knows, was talking to him yesterday, more in detail about Nad and his friends and whatnot. So always great to have those conversations, everybody. So for you Fight Club members, be on the lookout for this guy. Now, last thing I wanted to talk about was the upcoming card, UFC on Fox 30, Alvarez versus Poirier. This is just a fantastic main card, really a great card. You've got that as the main event. You got the co-main event, Aldo versus Stevens. You've got Joanna versus Tisha Torres. I mean, those are three great fights, three high caliber fights on a Fox card. Fox always puts together some great cards, so this is going to be something that's going to be great. We're definitely going to be having a best bet play on this card, which currently the best bet play for the year is 20 wins, 9 losses, plus 17.18 units for the year. So over that 70% mark, hitting our best bet plays. Definitely going to be a best bet play on one of these three fights. At this point, just started looking at it. We'll have that video out for everybody. What's today? So Monday. So probably on that Tuesday, probably Wednesday, I would say. Probably Wednesday, we'll have that prediction video out for you guys, and it will include a best bet play for sure this time around. But really, overall, that's a fantastic card. Really excited to dive into that card and break it all down. So there you have it, guys. A very quick best bet review for everybody because we did not have a best bet play here. I was away on vacation, enjoying myself. What can you say, guys? I got to take some time off once in a while. So if you have not yet done so, do not forget to subscribe, like, head kick the bell icon, get involved with Fight Club TV. And this is Mr. UFC Vegas, Fight Club TV.